Boom, Neil, love it. Who? Sarah, I'm here. You're first. You're number one. Mike just turned up. Keith tuned in, I guess. Neil, got Jake from Colorado Springs. Love it out there, brother. Love it. Jane, hello, Jane. Almost named one of my daughters Jane. Jim, what is happening? Jonathan, Noah. Oh man, y'all are blowing it up now. Hey, we had so many people sign up. It was stupid. It was awesome. I love it. South Florida, love it out there. All right, where y'all from? Tell me. North Carolina, West Michigan, College Station. All right, you're SEC now. That's okay. Let's see, Missouri. Man, I spent some time out in Missouri. Miami, wish I were there right now. Louisiana, boom. Okay, y'all are like typing too fast for me. I'm Sydney, Australia. Mike, did I talk to you, Mike, in email? I think I did. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning there, right? Gosh. Bowling Green. All right, you're close. You should have just come up here. Neil out in Indianapolis. I love it. St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. Okay, we're all going to go there for the next webinar. Jacksonville, Florida. Missouri. Hey, if you're just now tuning in like 2 minutes, we're going to get started, okay? I'm going to kind of let more people get up in here before we get started. Thomas from Michigan, Fort Worth. I love it. I love it. Boom. Can y'all hear this music at all? I don't know if y'all could even hear this. Got a little Tadashi playing. I'm going to turn it off here. Boom. What up from North Carolina? What up? I've got my in-laws out in North Carolina. Chattahoochee, Florida. Got Steve and Sharon from United Kingdom. New Mexico. Andrew. Hello to you, Andrew. All right, you got Rocket Company up there saying, be sure you're using Google Chrome. That's a big deal. Google Chrome. Toronto. We've got Mary. Cannot hear the music. Okay, well, good. I just turned it off anyway. Hollywood, Florida. Hey, I played out at that, Hard Rock out there one time. I love it out there. Love it. Boca Raton. Man, wish I had a boat out there. Arkansas, Russ, Audrey, Cyprus. I don't know where Cyprus is. I probably should. But all right, hey, if you're just now tuning in, we're going to get started in just a minute. Keep blowing up the chat over there. South Haven, Mississippi, extreme north. Hey, I am from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I know the state of Mississippi very, very well. Gainesville, Florida in the house. Washington, D.C. Cyprus is in the, oh my goodness, Mediterranean. Love it. Feeling lonely on the West Coast? You should, man. You should be moving out to Nashville. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in so much. This is going to be a blast. If you are just now tuning in, my name is Keith Cook. We are going to get started in like a minute, okay? I'm going to let people kind of keep trickling in for just another minute. How many guitar worship leaders do we have out there? Give me a yes over in the chat. Let me know. You're just on guitar. Anybody? Yes. Let's see, you got Portland, Oregon. We got Canada out there. Yes, yes, yes. Bam. So a lot of guitar players. Okay, you would be very welcome in Nashville. Hannah, yes, yes. Brandon, Gabe. I can make noise on a guitar. Yeah, me too. I feel you. Ronnie, yes. Chuck. Got John from, where you say, Neil or North Florida maybe. John Ricketts, Wyoming. Hey, I lived out in Sheridan for a long time. I don't know if you're out in Sheridan. Hannah, I think it was. 6-string strummer. Yes, Joe. Love it. Are you a flat picker, Joe? Mm-hmm. Hey, if you're just now tuning in, I'm Keith Cook. you're in the right place. We're going to get started in just a minute. I just got a text. We got a lot of people trying to register. So if you can hang on for just a little bit, I am literally right now, I'm out at Word Records on Music Row, Nashville, Tennessee. And I was out here earlier kind of writing some songs. And I said to a friend of mine, can I just bum your office because it's so cool? But if you stick around, I got something really, really cool for you at the end of the webinar. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Hey, if you are a piano player, you lead worship on piano, put the number 2 in the chat. That'll kind of let me know. Where do you go to church in Nashville? John, I go to Emmanuel Church, emmanuelnashville.com. Shout out to Ray Ortland. What up? 2. Man, goodness gracious, 2 all the way. Come on. That's me, keys and guitar. Good, I love it. Deb, Caitlin Miller, hello. Mary Jane, okay. No flat picking here, my friend, just regular old, oh, well, that's unfortunate, but whatever. Larry, number 2, okay. How many, let's see, how many just singers do we have out there? You don't lead on a guitar or piano. Put a 3 in there for me. Texas electric guitar. Zach, you are my kind of man. I'm looking for that kind of guy right now. Let's see. You have a pipe organ, but I don't play it. Well, that's probably good. 3. Man, Dave and Jennifer, Savannah. Hey, if you're just now tuning in, I am Keith Cook, and we're going to get started in just a second. We've got like a rush of people. We seriously had like 1,000 people register for this, and we only have the bandwidth for just a little bit. So whoever gets in, gets in. But I'm going to give it one more minute. Emmanuel Nashville, I went to seminary with Ray Ortland's son. They're all just freaks of nature, man. They're all freaks of nature. They're amazing. They're so talented. I would follow any one of his kids into battle, and Ray himself. Pastor, worship leader, Oregon, Rich. Let's see, Bill, I'm the head pastor wanting to improve our worship. Love it. You're in the right place, brother. Howard, I see you. Daniel, Margaret, love it. How long have y'all been leading worship, by the way? Just put the number of years. Will this session be recorded? Cedric, I don't think it will be, man. I'm not responsible for that, so I don't kind of get to do it, but I don't think so. So I'm super glad that you're here right now. I should so pick up this guy's phone and just like sign an artist deal right now. 47, 15 years, 13 years, pastor, North Carolina, I see you. My system is slow, that's okay. 16, Gary, 49 plus. Guys, Genesis year 1, I love it. 6 year, I see some church planners in there. I love this. I love this. Hey, Rocket Company, can y'all type in how many people we have on the chat right now? I don't see it on here. I want to know. Argentina, bro. Christian, love it. Love it. Church planner just started. Bro, hang in there. That is the most awesome thing you could be doing. 10 years. I'm Bill. I'm the only pastor. 321 years. Wow, that's a lot of years, Chris. Senior pastor, yes. Okay, y'all hearing me okay? If you're just now joining me, my name's Keith Cook, and we're going to get started in just a second. I'm waiting for that kind of go ahead. How long will this session be? Well, Cedric, how long do you want it to be, my friend? We have got some stuff to 321. Boom, I love it. 325. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and get started right now, okay? So if you are joining us right now and you're jumping in, my name is Keith Cook. I am right now talking to you on Music Row. I'm out at Word Records. I was doing a writing session earlier, and I hit up a guy for an office. It's such a cool office. If you hang around to the end, I've got something like super, super cool. I'm going to kind of show you around the office a little bit, and maybe we'll run into some folks. Who knows? Let's see. Who do we have? Do a pastor need to preach after? We're going to get to like a lot of that kind of stuff in just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen over here, and then I'm going to make sure that y'all can see that. So give me a yes over in the chat if you now see me and the graphic that says how to create intentional worship experiences. Do y'all see that? Give me a yes, 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 yes. Okay, sweet. There will be a little bit of lag time, but just hang in there. Okay, sweet. Yes, Sharon, I see you. Pastor Percy, I love it. I love it. Guys, this is going to be so, so cool. I do not care like where you are at on your journey right now. We've got church planners. We've got like folks that are leading thousands of folks. in worship, doing a couple services a day. These principles apply across the board. You're going to love it. So hang with me as we kind of get going here. What I want out of this for you guys. So like what I'm going to show you, now, no matter where you're at in this journey, it will take you to the next level. So I want to show you how you can take your worship leading to the next level and create intentional professional worship services. It hurts my heart whenever I see worship leaders who they may be like incredible, but they don't know how to go to the next level. So that is, sorry, somebody said something about the beard and it caught my attention there. But I want you guys to know that, hey, these things that we're going to cover here, this is what professional guys have told me about that I started doing. But this is not just my information here. This is literally what top pros like Todd Fields and a bunch of guys that he talked to, we compiled this information, and these are kind of the cream of the crop tips. So we're going to get going in here. So excited that you guys are out here and joining me. I know that this is going to be a good stuff. So my goal in this webinar is literally for each one of you to have at least one actionable takeaway that will bring you or your church or your worship team to that next level. The next level will look different for each of you depending on where you're at, but I know that these principles can take a beginner and turn them into a seasoned vet and help them take that next step. I know that because that's what they did for me, okay? And like I said, if you stay to the end, I am going to kind of unplug my computer. We're going to walk around the office, and I've got kind of an extra bonus that I don't even know that the folks at the Rocket Company know about, but I'm going to throw it in kind of at the end. I think that you guys are going to love it. So now let me prep you on who I am, because whenever I go to this next slide, you're going to start laughing. Let's see if that is the case. Boom. So that is Keith. If you can look on the far right, that is Keith in another life. Do not judge me off of this picture, people, please. So in another life, I was in a Western group, and we played rodeos. We did all this kind of stuff, but that is literally how I learned how to, holy Lord, yes, Joe. I knew that you were going to make fun of me. But if you don't listen to me for any other reason, know that I have played on a horse and sang on a guitar, and I absolutely love it. But I transitioned out of that, and I've been a professional musician for 15 years. So done a lot of studio work, and I have traveled literally the world doing festivals, doing smaller church shows, playing in a lot of clubs all around. And I absolutely am so passionate about helping worship leaders. Been leading worship for 10 years. I was a part of kind of 3 church plants that went out, and I helped them grow their team and build it into the larger churches that they've got today. And it's something that I am just crazy passionate about. If you care about these things, somebody told me to put them in. I've shared the stage with Willie Nelson, if you even know who that is. Some of y'all probably don't. The Beach Boys, Casting Crowns, Bill Gaither. Do we have any Southern Gospel fans out there? Give me a yes over in the chat if you do. If you're not, keep quiet. But I've led worship from church plants to 3K congregations, and I am passionate about who doesn't know Willie. That's what I'm saying, man. But I am so passionate about this because the things that I have learned from those larger tours, man, they apply to the church plants. They apply to everybody. Everybody knows the Gaithers. Do y'all know a guy named Michael English by chance? Back in the day, well, I ran into his daughter. I used to work for Michael, and I ran into his daughter, and she was so smoking hot that I married her. And so we have now got 3 kids, and man, she is so beautiful. That guy's won a couple Grammys and Doves, so there you go. But I have done like a lot of things right in leading worship and doing shows, but mostly I have done like so many things wrong. Like so many things wrong. I was that guy with no team. I was that guy that did not have a budget. I didn't have very good gear. I didn't even know what good gear was. I didn't know what a good guitar was. I could not keep time. I did not know how to choose the right songs. I was awkward talking on stage. I did not really understand the point of worship. Now, you guys, y'all have been doing this for some of y'all like 30, 40 years. You get it. You're so much farther than where I was. It's just crazy. And so I want you to know that like these principles, you're going to see them and you're probably not going to want to do them. And that's because they are hard. And that's because like nobody really enjoys this kind of deliberate kind of practice. But what I need for you to do is kind of turn pro in a way. These secrets, there are secrets that professionals know that amateurs don't. It's just because they've been exposed to those kind of things. And these simple principles, they can change your worship. And you have to have this new mindset. So starting from right now on this webinar, I need you to have this turn pro mentality. And I believe that it is your duty. If you feel called by God to lead worship, do you guys feel called by God to lead worship? Give me a big, big capital yes over in the chat. I want to make sure that y'all are still with me. Still with me. Boom. I love it. I love it. If you feel that it is your duty to by God to lead worship, then you are in the exact right place. Heck yes. I love, man. Oh, y'all are getting me pumped up. I wish I could switch back to the camera view real quick just to show you. I'm loving this. Josh, Paige, Angie, Brian, I love it. Karen, boom, boom. I love this, guys. This is going to be good stuff. But in just a minute, I'm going to turn into tough love Keith because you are not going to want to do these principles. Oh my goodness. I'm excited for you and scared. No. So I discovered all this stuff the hard way, but you guys get to kind of cheat and you get the easy way, which is I'm going to fast track you and get you to where you need to go. For like, for literally 6 months, I rehearsed with a group from 6 to 9 a.m. in the mirror, and we hired consultants to come in and look at us and do all that stuff. There's little principles that you pick up on that are like, oh, this is such a no-brainer. I mean, I even hired consultants for a bluegrass thing that I was doing. It cost me $15,000. And what I'm about to show you is so much better than that, I promise. So here's the hard way. I love that meme, by the way, over there. You guys seeing that? So the hard way is leading and playing worship for years, never feeling like you are connecting or really getting any better. That's, to me, that's the hard way. That's where I spent so many years leading worship doing that. And paying thousands to a consultant, that's crazy. That's the hard way to me. And having people leave the church because of worship, to me, that happened to me. That's happened to me a few times. And that really, really hurts my heart because it helps me to reassess and reset. But that's the hard way. That's the kind of things that I want to save you. You may have had those experiences, but from this moment on, we're going to turn pro in our minds and we're going to do what we need to do. And I don't want you to have to waste the time and the money going through all these kind of things. And so are you guys ready to turn pro? Give me a yes over in the chat. Give me some more. Hope you talk about that meme because, oh my goodness, that's so me. So ready, so ready. Man, Bill, I see you. Alan, yes, blow it up. Blow it up. I love this. Guys, turning pro is not going to be easy, but it is your duty. It is your duty. In a month from now, okay? In a month from now, I want you guys to think, where's your church going to be? Where's your family going to be? Where do you want your worship to be a month, a year from now, after you have seriously, you've turned pro in your mind, you've done whatever it's going to take to get to that next level. I don't care. I talked to a couple people like in other countries because y'all emailed me. Those questions were amazing, by the way. I don't care if you're in Liverpool. I don't care if you're at a small country church in Louisiana. You know who you are. You need to get serious and get committed to turning pro for the gospel. For the sake of the gospel, turn pro with your worship. That is what I'm just crazy, crazy passionate about. So these 3 secrets, you're going to think they're too simple because that's what everybody does. Let me tell you what kind of most people think. Think of this kind of like the 80-20 principle, right? Some of you guys will see these principles and you're like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I love it. I'm going to go do it. That's a very, very small few of you, unfortunately. The rest are going to see it and they're going to be like, oh yeah, Keith. Yeah, I got that. But I bet you don't do it. And I bet a month from now, you never did it. So you never got any better. I bet a year from now, you're in this same place. And I bet you come back to these 3 secrets and you start implementing them. That's the hard way, my friend. That is the hard way. Nobody wants to do them. And that's why they're amateurs. Remember, we are pros and amateurs do not want to do that. So let's dive into secret number 1. Secret number 1, and I'm going to go through these in details. The pros have a process for evaluating themselves and their team. If it doesn't make you uncomfortable, you're not doing it right. I'll explain that in just a minute. Secret number 2, the pros can speak as well, if not better, than they play and they sing. Okay, the pros can speak as well, if not better, than they play and sing. So many of y'all emailed me and we're talking about, I don't know what to say, or I don't know how to get the service started off, or I get stage fright. I'm going to completely just change your life here in a minute with secret number 2. So I want you to imagine yourself, again, a month from now, knowing how to speak, knowing exactly what to say, diving into that. Secret number 3, the pros simply, they know how to choose the right songs for the right crowd. I have got a specific technique that Todd Fields showed me. It is, Todd Fields is the guy out at North Point with Andy Stanley. You guys ever heard of Andy Stanley? Give me a yes over in the chat. We are pros. I love that Tabitha. Boom. Gary in New Mexico. I love this, man. Y'all keep it going over there. Love it. Love it. Yes. Need help choosing songs. I love this, guys. I love it. Okay. So I'm going to show you this process, and Todd Fields kind of gave a bunch of us this very simple way to go about figuring out which songs to play. And I think it was a game changer for me, and it got my whole team involved. I really, really love it. So with secret number 1, the pros have a process for evaluating themselves and their teams. Evaluating, that means feedback. If this does not make you uncomfortable, you are not doing it right. Okay. I want to make sure that y'all can see this, this picture here. This is a YouTube video, the most awkward worship leader ever. It was painful to watch, so painful. But secret number 1, this was a game changer for me. The secret to getting better at anything quickly is getting honest feedback that you can take it. You can then take it, you can take action on it, then you get more feedback. This is called a feedback loop. And y'all tell me to slow down if I'm just rolling through this. I get crazy, crazy passionate about it. And once I get on a roll, I just do it. So an example of a feedback loop. Okay, I want you to imagine like a quarterback. Let's think of Tom Brady or Brett Favre or somebody like that. They play their game. You know, they practice all week. They play their game. They go in, they review. Trying to take notes, please slow down. Savannah, love it. But Tom Brady, he's sitting in the locker room after the game, you know, maybe on that Monday, which is exactly what I'm going to show you guys what to do. And he reviews the tapes. And this is all quarterbacks, all professional quarterbacks do this. They review the game film to see what worked, what didn't work, and what they're going to work on the next week. So that is the concept that I want to show you about. And I want you to start creating feedback loops. Okay, secret number 1 is pros, wait for it, they record themselves. This is not just earth-shattering stuff. They record themselves and their band leading worship. Okay. They do that. Then they review it. And then they pick things that they're going to work on. And then they take that next step. And so imagine 3 months from now, if you have done this and you have been recording yourself, you're picking 3 things to work on. You work on it. Did you do it? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, let's do 3 more. Imagine how much better you're going to be in 3 months, in 6 months. My goodness, in 12 months, you are going to be like on the next level. Okay. And this stuff also applies. I don't know if any of you guys want to like be artists as well. I mean, you should be proud of that if you do want to be artists. Do we have any artists out there as well? Like you lead worship, but then you've also kind of got this artist thing going. Give me a yes, I'm an artist over in the chat. I'm reading through all these chats right now. But this next Sunday, here's what I want you to do. Yes, I see it kind of flowing in there. There might be a little bit of a lag here, guys, so hang with me. This literally applies for artists as well, okay? If you've got a band outside of church and all that kind of stuff and you're doing it, these things are, I mean, Taylor Swift does this, okay? I know for a fact she does. Like the big people do this kind of stuff. And when worship leaders do it, they go to the next level. I don't know if you can hear me pounding my desk. They go to the next level. So this Sunday, no matter what, get your phone out, get your spouse or your friend or somebody to hold up an iPhone. I want you to record the entire service. And I want you guys, whether it's a band or yourself, or even if it's a church plant, listen, if it's just you and you are over in Romania, you know who you are, brother. Hang in there. I want you to record yourself. And then I want you to schedule a meeting with your band or whoever needs to be a part of it. Maybe it's a pastor, maybe it's not. Maybe you don't want the pastor in there. Your call. But I want you to schedule a meeting with your band to review the recording and evaluate your blind spots. Keep this positive, okay? Be fun, be lighthearted. Always keep your goal in mind, which is how do we become better communicators of the gospel? How do we lead people in worship? Lead people to Jesus. So you're going to schedule the meeting with your band. If they do it, great. If they don't, whatever. You need key people in there that are going to be able to give you feedback on what you're doing and who will not sugarcoat it. Okay? So keep it positive, keep it fun. You can poke fun at stuff, you can do whatever, but remember that the goal is you need to have trusted people in your life, maybe on your team, that you can watch this tape with and get their feedback, okay? And so what I want you to do, so now you recorded yourself, you've had this meeting. I want you to have 3 things. Get out a piece of paper or your computer or whatever, but collectively with the group, I want you to write down 3 things that you will focus on improving for next Sunday. Just 3. Don't freak out and get a whole bunch of things, but say, okay, my transitions are really poor. Okay, that was a big deal for me. Okay, my transitions were really bad, and my introductions were really, really bad. And if you can't guess already, like I ramble, I am really bad when I have not prepared and I start rambling and I just keep it going and I never how to get out. Never know how to get out. I'll tell y'all some stories here in just a little bit about that. But this is literally that feedback loop. You have your 3 things, you record yourself, you review it. Did you do it? Did you improve the 3 things? Does the team think that you improved? Does your trusted network think so? Yes, then boom, you have just gotten better. Marianne, Matt, David, Wilton, you have just gotten better. Savannah, you have just gotten better. Okay, guys, this is so simple. And listen to me. Like I'm going to kind of drop it down a little bit. Most of y'all won't do it. Most of you won't do it. It's so sad. Some of you think you're above this. Okay, if you think you're above it, it's so an indicator that you're an amateur. If you are like crazy excited and can't wait to do it, that's where I want you to be right now. Okay, that is exactly where I want you to be. If you're a little intimidated by this, you should be. That's perfect. Started this yesterday. Bam, Leah, love it. Love it. So This feedback loop, you should be doing those 3 things. You should be reviewing. You should then get 3 more things. You should review. This loop starts occurring to where every single week you know of 3 things that you're doing, and you start stacking skills, stacking transitions, stacking introductions. The songs start getting tighter because one of the worship guys said, hey, I didn't feel like this created that experience. And so you dove into that in your rehearsal. Do you see how you will have an infinite amount of things to work on from creating these loops? A year from now, Marianne, awesome, thanks. Savannah, Bill, Gary, a year from now, you are going to be on what do you mean by stacking? I mean by stacking this concept of like, take those 3 things that you are going to improve on, and then the next week 3 more things. Well, now when you put them together, in 2 weeks you've improved 6 things that were not good 2 weeks ago. So if transitions were bad and now you've nailed your transitions, well, great. If no one's identifying your transitions as being bad anymore, you just got better, my friend. And so now you start working on your introductions, and now you start working on this or that. So that's kind of that's that concept of stacking that I mean. Let's see here. So 3 reasons why. Oh, sorry, the slides are kind of stacking up on each other. I hope that's okay. Google kind of does that sometimes. But 3 reasons why amateurs don't do this. Number 1, it is painful. It is so painful. And it's humbling. For me, whenever my pastor at the time said, Keith, you ramble, man. Like, I love you to death, and you are a brother in Christ, but you ramble. And sometimes I don't know where you're going with it, and it makes me nervous. Man, it was humbling, very humbling, because I thought I was good at it. And number 2, there's always some type of an excuse. That's one of the reasons amateurs don't do it. You will have excuses. Here, let me give you a couple. I can't get my team to meet up. I don't have a team. I don't have anyone to trust that can give me feedback. Guys, these are excuses. And you're a pro now. Remember, a bunch of y'all gave me that big yes, I'm a pro. You're a pro now. Here's tough love, Keith, for you. Find a way. Okay? Find a way through it. A pro finds a way, and you owe it to the gospel. Like, oh man, so tough love right now. You owe it to the gospel to be relentless in your pursuit of getting better at communicating gospel truth. You have done with excuses, period. I love it. You owe it to the people to try to figure out, how can I communicate the gospel in a more clear and effective way? Do the hard things, okay? So number 3 reasons why amateurs don't do this. They're too good for it. Like I said earlier, they think they're too good for it. And you know what's going to happen? I told you earlier, what's going to happen is a year from now, they're going to end up coming back to this webinar, and they're going to try to find it. And you guys, however, the pros, you will have already done this. You're already on another level now. You don't need this stuff anymore. You're now teaching these concepts to your teams. You're now helping them turn pro. That's what I want for you guys, is to help you start creating and multiplying these professional worship leaders who can completely, man, we can change the world. We can change the world. I've got a bonus one down here for you. They think it's going to make them feel like less of a leader to their team. That is a myth. Guys, this is a myth. Because you think that you're humbling yourself to get feedback, or if you're always the one giving feedback because you think that that's what a leader's supposed to do, go pick up a leadership book or tune in to like just some of Casey Graham's stuff or Jeff Henderson's stuff. Like, leadership is about humbling yourself and serving to the best of your ability. Serve your team, serve your church, serve them, and love them enough to record yourself, review it, push past any awkwardness, figure out your 3 things, then dive back into practicing those 3 things and start adding up. Oh my goodness. I'm pumped. I'm pumped to see where a lot of you guys are going to be. Andrew, I joined late. Is there a link to watch it again? Dude, there's not. But hang in there. I'm going to recap some of this stuff in just a minute. But we're just now on secret number 2. Okay, guys. So secret number 2. Was secret number 1 good? Give me a yes over in the chat if that's clicking for you and making sense. Okay, y'all still hearing me? You still alive? Yes. I'm stopping the excuses today, David. Man, I love it. Yes. Goodness gracious, Savannah. Thanks for sharing. I love this, Savannah. Absolutely love it. Y'all's energy over here in the chat is electrifying. I absolutely love it. One of the most helpful things you can do for sure. Noah, yes, guys. I love it. So secret number 2, the pros can speak as well, if not better, than they sing and they play. Okay? So I should have pulled up an email that I got. Actually, I got maybe 30 emails dealing just with this kind of stuff. So some of us are just straight up awkward when we talk on stage. That was me. It was me. I told you I talk too much. Sometimes I didn't talk enough. Sometimes I turned into like Ray LaMontagne and got like really weird on stage and just wanted to be a cool artist because my ego was too big. So, I mean, some of us, we're just straight up awkward. And it doesn't have to be that way. It comes from different places for different people. Some people are trying to be too cool for school. Some people are trying to be too cool for school, and other people are they get stage fright, which stage fright comes from not being prepared. I'm going to go over that stuff in just a minute, but I told you before, I'm a rambler, if you can't tell already, and I can't tell you how many times I will start talking in between songs, or used to, and I forget the point of what I was trying to say. Guys, I'm a gospel-loving man, and I am there on like trying to lead people to Jesus, and I would straight up forget what I was trying to say. Okay, and it's embarrassing. I am really bad about that. And so what I'm about to dive into here, it's a huge deal for me. Did that junk yesterday. No, I feel a kindred spirit with Noah and David. That's great. So secret number 2, it's a huge deal for me. And this is where most of my feedback in that feedback loop came from. And because I had to get better, guys. I had that mindset. I had the turn pro mindset, and I felt like I owed it to the congregation to dive in and figure out, why am I so bad at that? How do I get better? And so I dove into it. Todd Fields changed my worship leading life. So secret number 2, this is Todd, by the way. I've got like a bro crush on Todd. He is my hero. I learned this secret from Todd. He is a worship leading beast. Okay. He's a beast of a man. Todd Fields is out at North Point in Atlanta. He works alongside Andy Stanley, which he's kind of a big deal. When Todd speaks, and when Todd, says, "Hey, you need to focus on this," worship leaders listen. He's got that respect. He's been in the game for so long. He knows the heart. And here is what he taught me. Okay, he said, "You are a communicator, not just a singer." Often we focus on singing, but our role as leaders is to help people see who Jesus is, who God is, what he's done, and then lead that response. Okay? I'm going to say that again. You are, I'm going to pick a couple of y'all out. Marnie, Joseph, Bill, Devin, you are communicators, not just singers. And we don't need to focus just on singing, but our role as leaders is to help people see who Jesus is, who God is, what he's done, and then lead that response. I believe that that's our desire most of the time, but a good portion of us are like massively unprepared. Massively unprepared. We're unprepared because we've got a ton of stuff on our plates. If you have a ton of stuff on your plate, type a 1 over in the chat. Give me a 1 if you have got a ton of stuff on your plate right now. Here's kind of the stuff that was on my plate. I was in charge of sound. Let me see, lighting, the whole program. Yeah, let's not forget that. The whole program, Sometimes the volunteers didn't show up. I think I did that. You guys with me? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm seeing like a ton of ones. It's like 1,000 ones from David. Janitor, sec. Yep. I feel you. So, all right. So, but that isn't. We've got to press through that. Okay, we've got a ton on our plate, but we're pro now. Okay, we're pro. But when we're unprepared, here's what it can look like. All right, it can look like stage fright. It can look like giving too much information. I did that sometimes of just, I'm unprepared, so I just start talking. And then kind of the third thing in there, you got number one, stage fright. Number two, you're giving too much information, and you're like, you can tell that you just don't know what you're doing. You can tell you're an amateur. Number three is, and this is kind of funny, worship leader lingo. Okay. I am so guilty of this. Like I wrote something down here. Hey guys, we want to sing. We want to enthrone our King. He's high and lifted up in the heavenly realms. We want to exalt him with the shout of praise. All of these phrases, like, they're so true, and they come from songs, I think. But you got to remember that we're leading people who had a hard time just finding shoes for their kids to go to Sunday school in that morning. Okay, we're leading people who are not even awake yet. So when we start talking about like blood of the lamb and all this stuff, it's like, hey, El Shaddai, all this stuff. This is, you're freaking people out, man. And they haven't even had their coffee yet, and we're jumping in the blood and all lambs and all this stuff. So that's what happens when you're unprepared. You go back to your default. And your default is probably Christianese and worship leader lingo, because it's just like, it's what Christianese. Yep, I love it. I can see that maybe some of y'all struggle with that too. Based on this meme, Todd is the leader of Robot Apocalypse. Joe. So secret number two, we've got assumptions about leading worship. Okay, assumption number one. Is everybody is ready to sing. All right, like I could jump up on a soapbox right now and tell you, like, everybody is not ready to sing. Some of you guys emailed me and told me that you have trouble on song number one getting people engaged. They're not ready. There wasn't ready. Forget it. That's another thing. Rambling again. Number two is everybody. You're assuming that everybody in the room is a believer. Okay, my father is a full-time evangelist. This guy has raised support since he was like 19 or 20, has a crazy awesome ministry. And actually, he's flying to Africa like right now. He got on the plane at 1 o'clock Central Time. Hey, throw up a prayer for him. This guy goes to Africa. He tells people about Jesus. He is my best friend. He's absolutely amazing. But he told me, never assume everybody in there is a believer. Never assume. And so I don't want you guys to assume that people are ready to sing. I don't want you to assume that everybody's a believer, because they're not. They may not know any of this language that we've got. We've got to explain things to them where they're at. It's going to take you understanding their perspective more and diving into their perspective and seeing like, and you'll do this in your feedback loops. Whenever you're creating that and getting back, you're going to be like, oh, you know what, Brother Bill, you're freaking people out whenever you're talking about, blood of the lamb and this stuff. So-and-so, it was a friend, and they just need to know, like, who are you? This is the first time that they've even never been here. So you got to kind of ease folks into it a bit. So Todd taught me that this is the key to secret number two. Okay. Todd taught me that I have to script everything, at least at first. Now, do not go over in the chat stream and be like, no, you got to be led by the Spirit and all this kind of stuff. I get that. Like, I so get that. But hang with me for a second and I will explain myself. But again, Todd taught me that I have to script everything. That is the key. That is the key to secret number two. Script everything, at least at first. And here's what I want you to work on right now. Okay. I saw that a couple of y'all over in the chat said you don't say anything on Sunday. This is going to help with that. Okay. And again, this is not just what like Keith does. this is what professional worship leaders do. And this is what professional artists do as well. Again, if you're an artist out there playing, whatever show, do you think that Taylor Swift and all these other people hire choreographers? I mean, they do it for a reason, because everything they want it to be super, super intentional. The Holy Spirit is leading, is available on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday. So how about let's go to him on Monday or on Tuesday when you're planning next week's service and say, Father, here's what I want to achieve right here for your glory. Help me write this. Man, can you imagine having, Taylor Swift is still awkward. Yeah, can't help everybody, but can you imagine that if the Holy Spirit inspired your prayers and your transitions, and now you completely honor the Father when you memorize that and you take it into Sunday and you nail it for God's glory. Okay? So number one, with scripting, I want you to prepare an introduction. Okay? Prepare an introduction. And here's an example of something that I would typically say when I'm leading. And this is a script that Todd gave me. It's awesome. And it's so connected, and it didn't freak people out. It was perfect. So here's a script. I would do something like this. Good morning. My name is Keith Cook. We're glad you're here today at Emmanuel Church. We're about to sing some songs together about God and to God, because we're blown away by the love he's shown for us that we did nothing to deserve. We'd love for you to join and sing along with us. So that's just an example of that. And so I want you to focus on your introductions, and I want you to also focus on your transitions and your pivot statements, okay? Your transitions are, how are you going to transition from one song to the next? What those pivot statements of I need to call people's attention to this or to that. You've got to script these things out ahead of time. And if you have to go listen to some other worship leaders that you respect and see how they do it, we'll do that, and then bring it back to your prep time and talk to the Lord about it and say, hey, man, I saw Chris Tomlin do this whenever he was there. I love it, Lord. Do I have your blessing to do that? I think that would be an amazing thing to do. But your pivot statements, your transitions, and your introduction, you owe it to your church and the people there that are spending their time. You owe it to them to have that nailed, okay? You owe it to them to have that nailed, absolutely nailed. So prepare your introductions. Oh, number two, I forgot one. Identify your moments. Where in the service do you want to make sure that you are crazy, crazy intentional about creating a very, very specific moment, okay? You need to find those times, and then you need to make sure that you're scripting out what you're going to do. What's the band going to do? Are they going to walk off the stage like this and it's all weird and awkward? No, you don't want to. You do not want to do that. You want to tell them what to do. Script it out. At this point, you do this. At this point, you do this. And do that from a perspective and a place that's man, you feel led by the Lord for that because you prepared it ahead of time. A couple of y'all with pivot statements. We're running out of time too, so I'm just blazing through this. A pivot statement is like a transitional line in your verbal paragraph. It kind of helps orient people toward what you want them to know or understand in relation to the song that you're about to sing. An example of a pivot statement is I want us to sing ... I want us to remember ... some principle or whatever. Let's see, another one is I or we want you to know, that kind of thing. We want you to know that blank, 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 blank. So those are kind of pivot statements that can kind of help get you and flow you into that next song. All right, I'm skipping along to secret number 3. Y'all still with me? Give me a yes. Give me a yes. We're running late, but I don't care because I think you guys are ready to, you turn pro. This is what you do, right? So secret number 3, the pros know how to choose the right songs for the right crowd. Okay. Hey, I appreciate those yeses. Bam, bam, Austin, Dawson, David. Bam, I love this. This is great. The pros, they know how to choose the right songs for the right crowd. So here's the right crowd. Are you at a church plant? You got 500 people in your church? You got 30 people in the morning, but like later on in the afternoon, you got 200, and it's younger folks. Like, they know the crowd really, really well. They know their people. And it does not matter if you're by yourself. It doesn't matter if you got a big team. You've got to learn how to choose the right songs, okay? And I believe that song selection has so much to do with how we engage people. Choosing the right songs is crazy, crazy important. Music is so subjective, and sometimes it's hard to know what songs you need to lead your church and to kind of get them to take action. I get that this is a pain point. I read the emails. Like, I know that that's a huge pain point. I think we have some more assumptions when it comes to choosing the right songs. The 4 assumptions, again, sorry that slide's kind of messed up there, but 4 assumptions, you're assuming that people live in worship music land like we all do. Like, we all love this, but other people don't. Like, they don't really listen to worship music outside. Number 2, you think that people listen to worship music outside the doors of the church. Man, most of the time, honestly, they're bumping Jay-Z, they're bumping George Strait, they're bumping whatever it may be. And they're not really thinking about like, oh, here's the top 10 that's, on whatever worship thing. And I knew that was a really, really big deal for me. The 3rd assumption is, if a song is on Pop Worship Project, you think it's just going to automatically land it at your church. Like, you just heard Hillsong do this killer song, and you're like, boom, they created that moment. I want to bring that back to First Baptist here, or this whatever there. Hey, I wish that were true, but it's just so not. I've made that mistake myself, and it's embarrassing. But so don't make that assumption, okay? And don't assume that just because you like it, that they're going to like it, because that's just not the case, okay? They're different. They're coming from different places, and you've got to be so in touch with your people and know where they're coming from, know what they're kind of into, know what's going to connect with them, okay? So secret number 3, how to choose the right song. I want you to start kind of thinking about something called song sifting, okay? So talking to a lot of worship leaders, this was collectively like how they came about finding the right songs, and kind of how they created that awesome song book that they kind of kept coming back to. It's called song sifting, and think of it like mining for gold. Okay, I've got that image over there if you can see that. You're going to kind of sift through a lot of stuff, and you're going to look for those big nuggets, because gold when amongst sand, what gold looks like. And so the goal of sifting songs is to ultimately end up with a powerful, a killer, lean. The key word is lean song bank to choose from. I'm going to go back and shift back to Tough Love Keith real quick. Some of y'all's song books are way too big. Way too big. Most churches, man, it's just they're way too big. I've seen this 100 times. You get out on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever you're planning, you get out a list every week of what songs you're going to do. And now you flip open this 3-4 ring binder, and there's 50 to 100 songs in there. It's overwhelming. Absolutely overwhelming. 50, it's too many songs. You're not going to go through those. It's only keeping you from your real work. Okay, so a pro process is song sifting, and here is that process. So song sifting, I want you to, number 1, I've kept this kind of simple. I'll run through it. I want you to keep the hits. Okay, do people sing and respond to hits? Yes, they do. Okay, how do you identify hits? I get tired of the same songs. Hey, I feel you. We're getting there. So people respond and they sing to hits. Just because you don't like it does not mean that they do not, okay? You owe it to them to think about their interests. Number 2, People ask for the song. This is just how you identify hits. Are people asking for songs? Have they asked about for more information about a song? Do people want to own the song? Have you talked to folks and they're listening to, kind of certain songs? Maybe that's something that should be on their radar. Are there specific songs that you know of that are part of their story? Okay. Or is there a song that other churches have really latched onto that are really memorable? Are there songs that attach, they are come from your church's history, maybe, that are tied to certain events? If a song has proven itself in the past, there's a really, really good chance it's a hit. So in the song sifting process, I'll show you how to do this in just a second too. I want you to think about keeping the hits. I want you to think, number two, I want you to throw out the stale songs, okay? Just do it. Just do it. Have you worn out any songs? I'm not even going to say, how do we ask congregations to song sift? Hey, I'm getting there, Kathy. I hear you. Have you worn out any songs? If you've worn them out, hey, just put them to the side. Take them out of your book completely, okay? And number two with that, I want you to take those songs that have gotten stale, and I want you to, it's not that you're never going to come back to them, but I just don't want you to even use the mental RAM right now to have to look at them, because somehow they'll creep back in there because your team knows it, but it's a dud song, Not that it'll always be a dud, but right now in this season, it's a dud for you. So, throw out the stale songs right now. Number three, get rid of the older songs. Old songs are the ones that they're not working. They haven't been used in a while. They've got to go. If they're not a hit, then there's no need for them to stay in your book right now. And again, in this season, people aren't connecting to them for whatever reason. So we don't need to waste an opportunity to try to connect people to God, trying to use songs that aren't really great. Okay. It feels good to start cleaning this book out. Feels really, really good to clean the house. So clean your song bank house by getting rid of those old songs. Okay. And now I want you to, number four, review the new. All right. So you have to have new songs. A lot of you are talking about how, stale songs, or you're playing the same old songs. You have to have new songs. They breathe life into your sets. This step is a great way to involve different teams and just different team members. Anybody that really wants to be a part of this process, I'm happy with it. I would love that. So what you should do is have think of it like a song shifting party or a meeting. And I want you to assign each person that's going to come to this. I don't care if it's a pastor or, somebody in your team, but I want you to assign each person to bring in a couple of new songs. Doesn't mean you're going to take them, but you bring in a couple of new songs. You can either email those maybe to a central location where everybody's got access and can review them, or you can bring them in, have a listening party. That's kind of fun. But the key is make this fun. Make this song sifting process fun. Keep it lighthearted. Don't have egos. If they didn't choose your song or something like that, that's for amateurs. Again, you guys have turned pro, and this is what the pro guys are doing. And this was really a big deal for me, and it saves a lot of time too. And it ensures that you're picking songs that are really connecting with your congregation. So I want you to imagine sitting down with your team, or maybe you don't have a team, maybe it's just you. And I want you to imagine having a powerhouse short list of songs that connect with your people. Imagine no weak songs. Imagine incredible deep experiences that are setting up the sermon. They're setting up the gospel. Okay. How confident would you be in that list? How confident would your team be in this short, powerful list of songs? Man, they start memorizing the songs. They start getting rid of the music stands. And don't even get me started. There's a bunch of us that we hate music stands on the stage. You should be remembering these songs. You remember the powerhouse songs. Teams love it. You start dialing in the music to sound more and more professional. You can do that because there's not a tremendous amount of songs. Your team, they learn the parts. Maybe you learn the parts a little bit more in depth because you're practicing them. You're recording yourself. You add this into your feedback loop. You record yourself. You see, hey, did I do this like that? Yes, maybe a little bit. Okay, what are 3 things to improve that song for next Sunday? And then you go back into it. That's how all these things start tying together. Your feedback loop into the songs that you pick, into the transitions, into your pivot statements. It all starts kind of working when you start getting the feedback and recording yourselves, okay? So I want to ask you guys a question really, really quick. Has this been pretty cool so far? Give me a yes over in the chat if this has been really, really cool. Boom, boom. Love it. Love it. Yes. Joe, Noah, I see you over there. Gary, Carlos, I love it. I love it. So this past hour, man, hey, y'all are blowing it up over there. I love this. Yes. Yes. All right. So this past hour, it could maybe have felt kind of like a fire hose. I don't know if y'all can see that picture over there, but if you take action on what we covered in this past hour, okay? Let me pull these up here. You're going to have feedback loops. You're going to have the 3 action items. You're going to be scripting intros and transitions. You're going to be song sifting for a powerful set. I mean, imagine you've created your feedback loop. You're recording yourself. You're watching it with your team, your trusted friends. You're finding your 3 things. That's so important. Listen to me. Most of y'all won't do it. Most of you won't do it. This is like tough love, Keith again. You won't do it. And this is the key to you getting better, okay? It's the key to you getting better. You've got your 3 things. You know that you're getting better because you've applied those 3 things. You then dive back in, you record yourself, you do the 3 things, you've got your team around you, you start scripting your intros. Imagine a month from now, 2 months from now, you've got your scripted intros and your transitions. You're getting feedback on them from your pastor, from some of the folks in your church that you trust. Now, like, everybody is crazy confident. That's how you start getting intentional, powerful worship experiences. Because everything on Monday when you're prepping, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, and Friday, you're taking those scripts. You're basically presenting those to the Lord, and you're saying, Lord, is this what I should be saying in this transition? Are these the songs that we should be playing right now? Because this is kind of what we all sifted through. Let the Holy Spirit kind of lead that for you. So you should have an awesome list. In like a month or 2, you should have an awesome list. Don't wait to do this. I would do this. I would shoot out the email like today to try to get this going. You should have an awesome list of songs that you are confident in, that you know are hits. Like they're so powerful. And a hit, remember, does it connect to your congregation, okay? So I want your team, and in a month or 2 from now, I want your team to start killing it because they really know the songs and they love them. If you're at the church plant and you're by yourself, you should be crazy, crazy confident in that set, that worship set. And I want the church to start connecting from song number 1. And I want them to stay focused the entire service, okay? I want them to stay focused the entire service. This is what professionals do. They never, never stop learning, okay? And applying what they've learned. It so stinks that we have an hour, and I've actually gone over to an hour and 8 minutes. Would y'all like more training like this? Give me a yes over in the chat if you kind of want more training like this. Yeah, I know some of y'all, you're artists and you need to kind of dive into some more stuff as well. Yes, yes, yes. Boom, boom. Man, we've got so many people on here right now. This is amazing. Well, would you guys like help, like creating a killer worship service, like more in-depth help? I'm taking these like all capital yeses. Absolutely, yes. Please, Tabitha, I hear you. You were awesome. Hey, appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Bam. 430 people. My goodness. This is so amazing. So if you want to engage more people week after week, and you want more training like this, Sunday after Sunday, you want to know every single month that you are crushing it and getting better, and you need more of a hand holding. You need more than what I just gave you right here. Well, I've got something that I can do that would help you with that. So, okay, like now I know that it kind of It's always awkward. You're on this webinar. I mean, I do have something to sell. And if you guys are okay with it, I'd like to share it with you. But if not, I won't do it. And, we can kind of cut it off from here. But let me know. Is that okay if I kind of dive into that a little bit more? Boom. Here comes the ad. Hey, man, this will change your life, Matt. This will change your life. Change your life, brother. So amateur habits, they die hard. It's your default. It will so default, and it sneaks up on you. Tomorrow when you wake up, what are you going to do? What's your plan? What's your system? If you don't have a plan, if you don't have a system to follow you or to follow, you're going to fall back on your default, man. It's just, that's the way we are. That's the way we're wired, okay? Your old habits will creep back in. Remember, there are amateurs and there are professionals. Remember, we are professionals. We turn pro. So I want to ask you a question. If I can give you a proven system used by hundreds of worship leaders, that was developed by top worship leaders, it's transformed so many people, would you be interested? I know you would be. I know you would be. I can see it over in the chat. This is awesome. That is literally what's so awesome about what I get to do. I get to tell people about a coaching program that not only changed my life, but it changes churches. It changes the congregation's lives. It grows churches. It's forever left a tremendous, tremendous impression on me. It's called Worship Rocket, and here is what all you're going to get, okay? So what you're going to get, you're going to get 3 training modules. We're going to show you in these training modules how to find talented musicians. I'm going to show you how to get on the same page as your senior pastor. Okay, that is straight up priceless. All right, I'm not going to get you to type over in the chat if you got an issue with your senior pastor and getting on the same page, but that can be an unspoken prayer request, okay? We're going to show you how to build a winning worship team, okay? Those 3 modules right there are valued at $497. Now, we're going to give you 3 more training modules that are valued at $397. How to keep your voice in shape. You're a professional now. For you artists, this is worth the price of the course right here, just that. It was a big deal for me. How to grow your influence. And again, I put over there, attention artists. If you're trying to take this to that level, then you really, really need that module. That would probably be more valuable than just about anything. How to lead when you're empty. I'm going to be straight up honest. Sometimes I just feel done. And this module, I think they've got some special guests on there. It was a big deal. It was a really, really big deal. Total value for all that's $894, okay? And like, that's not it. What else you're going to get? 3 more training modules on how to speak as well as you sing. Todd Fields dives into, like, he goes crazy. It's what I just did, but on steroids, okay? He's going to show you how to pick the right songs. He's going to go back over song sifting and show you so much more. It is so awesome. He's going to also show you how to find your blind spots. If you need help with your feedback, this is that module for you where you identify your blind spots. There's going to be 3 more training modules, and it's going to be how to evaluate your worship experience, okay? How to perform without apologizing. If you have an issue with like performing, then this is a perfect module for you. It shows you how to kind of get back from that. How to get people to sing. If you really don't know how to get people engaged and get people to sing, this is perfect for you, okay? So now a total value, $1,788. And who all has this worked for? Church plant worship leaders. I've seen it happen. It was me. New worship leaders, man, it's perfect. 1,000+ congregation leaders. If you're wanting to turn pro, I've seen it work with all denominations. Seriously, like even the weird denominations. I am so kidding around right there. But if you have 2 choices, I could do this and we could sell Worship Rocket for crazy cheap. But we wouldn't be able to get pros involved. Not at all. So with the price that we've got right now, it's a little investment, but in exchange, we can devote more resources and guarantee your success, basically. And so I put this up here from Ryan. Hey guys, this product is great. I've always loved Todd Fields as a worship leader, and now I get to have him as my personal coach at a fraction of the cost. Todd even jumped into the Facebook thing, which is so cool. I mean, testimonial. I'm going through the worship coaching, and I find it incredibly valuable. And I've implemented the first module training into our service for Sunday. In fact, the videos he made to share with the worship team, I used them last night after worship practice, and it was a great launching point to have a conversation with my team about transitions. It's so great to have everything I need so easily accessible. Man, that's awesome, David. So if you sign up right now, you're going to get bonus number 1, which is a private Facebook community of worship leaders, okay? This is where you get to post and receive feedback, share success and challenges. It's a real community, okay? And we've got another bonus for you. If you sign up for the first 20 people, you've got a Lead Worship Well recordings. So many times we assume that people are unprepared for worship service, but in reality, they've got other things on their minds. These recordings dive specifically into that, okay? When we sell them on just the Worship Rocket, the normal site, it's $297. And we're just going to give it to you for free. So bonus number 3 is a service craft notebook. This is going to guide you through some simple steps of planning your weekly service, and it's going to help you think strategically as you prepare. So for the first 20 people, okay? So what you're going to get, I'm going to recap it, 12 training modules, $1,700 value. You're also going to get the private Facebook community. You're going to get the Lead Worship Well recordings. You're going to get Service Craft Notebook. That's so cool. It's a total value of $2,202, okay? So if all I did was turn you into a professional worship leader, would this be worth it? I mean, if I got you and your pastor on the same team, I think that this would be worth it for sure. If I got you and your congregation on fire and engaged in worship, would it be worth it? Bam. Worship teams pay me as a consultant $500 to walk them through the same material. Just shooting straight. We get on Skype, I review their material, I go through everything, and it costs $500 normally. And Worship Rocket is normally at $997 for the general public. And I am authorized for a special time because I've got such an awesome beard, I guess, that for $79, sorry the slide's kind of messed up right now, but for $79, you get started with Worship Rocket. And guys, they've got starving artist payment plans because we know our audience. We know you. We know that you guys need this. And you need to know that for $79 you can get started, and there's actually some other payment options that make this like crazy awesome. And so for the first 10 people only, okay, you're going to get a service critique by me. So you do not have to go through the normal channels to do that, and you don't have to book me for $500, but for the first 10 people, that may already be gone actually by now. And you're going to get a service critique by me. We're going to jump on Skype. We're going to review everything, and I'm going to help you kind of implement your feedback loop and also answer any kind of questions that you may or may not have, okay? And so for right now, $79, you get started. There are payment plans available. And if you have, you kind of have 2 choices from the way that I see it, okay? First option, you do nothing. You go back to your default. Next year, you're basically in that same spot, kind of like we talked about, that amateur. Second option, you pony up a small investment today and you get started growing your church. If it works, great. If not, you still get to grow your worship culture and you will still be at the pro level, okay? So the real question is it worth skipping a few Starbucks lattes to finally turn pro with your worship career? Which is like, if I do half of what Worship Rocket claims to do, it's going to pay for itself, okay? At worship-rocketoffer.com. Whenever I think about the amateur versus the pro, the only difference is knowledge and action. One made the commitment to get the information and the training that they needed. The other one never did. They never did, okay? So I want you guys to do this next. Go over to worship-rocketoffer.com and get started and let me know. Start hitting me up. I want you to go over to the Facebook group, okay? What you're going to get, 12 training modules. you're going to get the bonus private Facebook community. The reason that we value that is because to create a mastermind group, it's a really, really big deal, and it's really hard. And that's kind of what you get with a private Facebook community. Some of y'all were asking. Bonus 2, lead worship well recordings. Bonus 3, the service craft notebook that we're throwing in for the first couple people who get going with this. And now a service critique by me, $500 value. And you get that. The first 10 people get that. And this is $79 today. And we've got the payment plans, okay? Now I want you to know something about me. I am not special. I'm not a great musician. I didn't have a team at one point. I've done it solo and I've done it with teams. I thought I was too busy. I blamed everybody else, basically. I thought it was everybody else's fault. And I didn't have a ton of money, but I did have a pretty awful Starbucks habit. And so really for the price of a latte a month, I was committed enough to kind of give that up for a season so that I could take my worship career to the next level. And guys, it made all the difference. It really made all the difference for me. Hey, for you guys that cannot afford this, if you cannot afford $79 to take your congregation to the next level, you're going to have to figure out a way to drop Netflix, to drop some of these other things so that you can commit. You turn pro. That's all I'm going to say. Don't look for excuses. Look for reasons to push through this, okay? So what you're going to get, 12 training modules, the private Facebook community, lead worship well recordings, service craft notebook, the service critique by me, and it's at a $2,700 total value. And you get that bonus from me for the first 10 people only. It is $79 a month with payment plans, okay? So you guys that stuck around, let's see, what's something really, really special that we could do? Can I walk them around the office? Yeah? All right, all right. I'm still on Wi-Fi right here. All right, guys, if you're still there and you want to walk around the office, type a little yes. Are you on video? No, I've got this screen share. I'm going to switch back over here to video. Guys, if you're over there and you want to kind of stroll through the office and see behind the scenes up here, boom. Boom. Oh, yes, Austin, Steve. I love it. I love it. I love it. Kenny Chesney better be in there. Now, I do have maybe Blake. He's at lunch break. He's at lunch break. All right, so how do I stop sharing this? Okay, guys. So I don't know where we're at right now, but we've got, I think, a few more options for the song critiques. If you guys are wanting to do that, $79 gets that for you. And my goodness, if you just do it for that, that could potentially change the course of your life. Okay. So I'm going to switch back over here and give you this, what I promised. Let's see, where are we at here? If I lose you, thank you so much. If you can see my face right now, thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope that you guys got some really, really actionable takeaways from this. This was a blast for me. I love it. We went long. We went like an hour and a half. I cannot believe it. And so, thanks. If I lose internet connection and, you got a dip or whatever, feel free. But I'm going to unplug here and see if we are still good to go. All right. All right. I think we're still good here. Y'all still with me? Still with me? Boom. Got Blake Shelton, and then you got Joseph Prolazny right there. Hope I was one of the 10. John, if you're not one of the 10, brother, I'll hook you up anyway. All right. So you got, let's see, Stroll the Office, and y'all still with me? Thanks, dude. The right window behind it makes it hard. Yes, Jonathan. Okay, I might get kicked out of here. So if we get kicked out, I'll see y'all later. All right, let's see. Which way do we need to go here? So Word Records, you're going to see. Let's see. I don't even know who that is. Let's see. Who can we see? We got this cool, King Country banner. I'll show you, where a lot of artists hang out. Let's go try to find that. Looks super cool right there. Hey, worshiprocketoffer.com is where you want to go. Before I get kicked out of everybody's like,